Let's rewind back to the early 1900s when Halloween as we knew it wasn't really about stuff you could buy. It was more about local homemade decorations and costumes. People often used what they had, crafting costumes from old clothes and repurposing household items. But by the 1950s, that's when Halloween started to shift as consumerism began and shape in how we celebrated holidays. Hi! My name is Jaden, and I make videos on culture, media, and kind of like whatever's going on that I feel like yapping about because I like to yap and I have opinions and I like to share them. You might notice, like if you've seen my other videos, that this is a different film setup and I probably sound horrendous. That's because I've been sick for the last 5 days and it sucks. So we're in the cozy nooks of my bed. I did my makeup for this Halloween occasion. Well, I only did my eyes, honestly. I didn't really feel like putting on lipstick because it's too much of a pain to take off, so honestly, I never wear lipstick in my videos. I do wear lipstick, but it's just so annoying to take off because it's all liquid, matte. No one cares. Why am I yapping about this? No one cares. Today I want to talk to you guys about hyperconsumerism and overall consumption of Halloween in particular. I'm probably going to do another consumerism based video around Christmas, but that's going to be probably even more words. Brain not working. Anyways, let's yap for a bit. This video probably won't be too long because I don't want to strain my voice and I have to work tomorrow. But before we trace back to where Halloween is currently, I just kind of want to go over the history of Halloween, because in case you didn't know, Halloween is actually called Samhain. Samhain was a Celtic festival back in the, I don't know, 2,000 years ago. A long time. We didn't exist, okay? But essentially, kids would go door to door and they would wear somewhat costume kind of attire, and they would knock on doors and request soul cakes from people that lived in houses where relatives have passed away from. And that's kind of the little history-ish bits about it. It was mostly in Ireland, the UK, Northern Hemisphere kind of area. But it was also the end of the harvest season, and so that's when the veil between the living world and the dead world was at its thinnest, and people wanted to be protected. Spirits and stuff were very, very much of a concern back then. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of Halloween lore. Samhain is still actually celebrated by pagans as well, and Wiccans. That's me, in case you didn't know. Fun fact. Yeah, and then when Christianity came and decided oh my gosh, Halloween's evil. It was All Saints Day was created. I guess it was the day before Halloween. It's All Saints Day. That way Christian people could be oh my gosh, Halloween's evil. We want spirits to come out. Let's make it a holy day. And yeah, that's a quick recap on the history of Halloween. Let's talk trick-or-treating. This also comes from 2,000 years ago when the poor children would go to people's houses and they would dress up and they'd have to perform either a dance or a song or something like that. They had to essentially put on a performance in exchange for a gift. That way, spirits and stuff wouldn't get them. And that's kind of what trick-or-treating came from. And then it just kind of got commercialized eventually, and pranks and stuff became the trick aspect, opposed to how it used to be the kids would do a trick in order to receive a treat, so it's okay, I'm gonna do a little dance or a little prayer for you, and then they'll give you a soul cake or fruit or something. So now it's become more commercialized. That's where big candy companies will start releasing those big boxes of candy and stuff, and all these costumes and stuff will come out, all this one-time use stuff that people are gonna wear. They're gonna go out trick-or-treating, they're gonna go to parties, whatever they're doing. It's a good way for companies to make money, obviously, because that's what companies want, because they're greedy. And within the last, I don't know how many years it is from what I was reading, but Halloween, it just says Halloween spending in the US alone has skyrocketed to over 10 billion annually. That's a lot of money. And a lot of this money is going on things that people are just going to throw out later on, because it's all one-use stuff. You have your one-use polyester costume, and then you have your candies that what are people gonna do with a big box of candy if they get no trick-or-treaters? They might eat it, they might donate it, they might throw it away, who knows. Pumpkin wastage, and then all the little trinkets and stuff you see at stores, all the decor, all that stuff just gets thrown away. And since it's so cheaply made, it's hard to dispose of if someone actually does try to throw it away or try to recycle properly. It's actually going to be more harmful to the environment that way because it doesn't fully decompose. Except pumpkins, because those are real. Because they're fruit. Fruit? Vegetable? how did we go from Halloween's like homemade costumes and like physical like homemade like tricks, what am I saying, brain, oh my gosh, why is my brain not brawning? That's why I have a script, because my brain is not brawning. How do we go from homemade costumes and decorations to today's hyper-consumeristic, is that a word? I might have made that one up. Hyper-consumeristic culture, when so many things from Halloween used to be very DIY based and using like actual harvested stuff, hence the reason it was like a harvest festival. And now it's all cheap plastics and stuff that you can't really compost or recycle correctly. How? Why? Why is this then? Obviously, companies want money. If they can market off of it, they're gonna want to sell it. Okay, it's that simple. Especially with so much like trend in media as well. Like social media and literally any form of media really plays a pretty big part into the consumeristic tendencies of Halloween, because like a new hit movie will come out and they're gonna pump out costumes for that movie. Like we're seeing it right now with the Wicked movie that just came out. Everyone's doing Glenda and the Green Witch person. I've never seen Wicked. Don't at me. When you think about it, like years ago, like when you were younger, if you celebrated Halloween, of course, I didn't get to celebrate it until I was 19. So, you know, there was that. You would like if you had siblings or family members or whatever or friends, usually people would like hand down costumes and be like, okay, so like my child wore this when they were like 5, now their younger sibling is 5 and they fit in it, so we'll give them that costume kind of situation. And then, you know, with all these new things coming out constantly, people are buying into it because they're like, well, I want to be this character from whatever, and it's like that's fun and all, but like you could DIY it, you know? Like there's nothing wrong with like a DIY costume. Especially if you want to do something like kind of like scary-esque and do like fake blood and whatever, you could literally just go to the thrift store and piece something together. Most characters are pretty generic looking. If you're doing like a carbon copy of like, I don't know, if you're doing like a celebrity costume, you could easily find stuff at like a thrift store. And then repurpose it for something different in the future. But instead, we go out and we buy these costumes, or if you want something more like elaborate and like sexy, like, you know, Mean Girls, like Halloween is the one day you can dress like a total slut and no one can say anything about it, right? Why not literally just use lingerie that you already own, and then you can make whatever accessories and stuff you want to wear with it? You know, like there's a lot of things you could do. Or even if you have like old clothes from like your childhood, or if you were like a dance recital or something, you can always repurpose some of those fabrics as well and like create something totally different. But people aren't going to do that, are they? That's too much effort, and we are now in a society where convenience is what people lean towards. If you can buy a costume for $50 or make a costume for $20, most people are just gonna buy it because they don't have the time, energy, or motivation to actually make a costume and make it work. My sister actually, she makes all her Halloween costumes, which is super cool, and I do admire that quite a bit. I have fallen for the buying a costume a few times. I'm not perfect, and no one is, but I still keep it just in case. Like if I go to another Halloween event, I don't care about being the same thing it was last year. It was a year ago. Like, okay, whatever, I'll reuse it, or I can use parts of it for something else. I do a lot of cosplay. I could totally just repurpose it for that. But now we want to talk about like the wastage of like what happens after Halloween. People are gonna throw all their stuff away and set up for Christmas, which more consumerism, more commercial stuff, all that plastic and stuff, which I think I mentioned earlier. I can't remember. My brain is like all over the place, which is why I was like considering not filming, but I want to make this video, so you know. Yeah, I think I already mentioned plastics, all those like cheap little decorations you can get from like the dollar store or Michael's, all those little places. And then if you're like into like more alt stuff like me, yeah, you'll buy those as like house decor and you'll use it forever. But most people are just gonna trash it, or it'll break, or they don't know how to dispose of it. They'll just chuck it all in the garbage, or if they're like moving, they're like, well, I don't want to take all this crap with me. They're just gonna throw it away, and then more waste build up. Yay. Not yay. That's bad. Back on like the decorations side of the conversation as well, so much of it is made of synthetics. And one thing to know about synthetics, which I felt so dumb that I didn't even know this until I actually went to like fashion design school. You can't recycle synthetic material. It doesn't decompose, you know? Because it's not natural. But it will take years, I mean like thousands, hundreds of years to actually decompose. So if you're trying to throw away something that's like tinsel or like some kind of cheap plastic or like a styrofoam, that's not going to decompose. It's just going to sit there in the landfill forever, contaminating our little world, and that's not good. And with pumpkins as well, people carve them so far in advance that they just rot. But like what they should be doing if they want to be more like conscious about the environment stuff is like carve your pumpkins a few days closer to Halloween, and then you can roast the pumpkin seeds, use the insides you scraped out for recipes. Pumpkin's actually really good for cats' digestion, so that's what I'm doing this year is I'm giving my cats little teaspoons of pumpkin. And then like the actual pumpkin itself, if you just like only put it out on like actual Halloween, and like hopefully it doesn't like get damaged or like eaten by animals or something, you can repurpose it and make something out of it. Or if it is just kind of like maybe to get a little mangled from outside, just use it in a simmer pot. A classic way to use something. Why do we keep buying all this crap even when we know it's bad? It's wasteful, it's bad for the environment, it doesn't help us, and we're not going to use it. Why do we buy it? Literally, convenience is the number one reason. Because, like I mentioned, it's easier to buy something than just to go out of your way and make something. And not everyone is up for creativity. Like, not everyone's a creative person. Not everyone's good with their hands. Not everyone can do that kind of stuff, you know? Like, some people physically can't, and some people just don't have the motivation to. So they order stuff, they buy stuff, it's quick and it's easy. You can find more, like, sustainable stuff out there. It's just a matter of keeping your eye open. Like, you can purchase something that is sustainable. Like, sustainable stuff doesn't have to be something you found outside. It can be something you found in a thrift store. Like, you get all your decorations there if you wanted, and then reuse them for the coming years. For me, it's house decor. I think I mentioned that already. I don't remember. It's just in my notes here. And most of the current stuff for holidays is not meant to last. It's meant to break so you replace it next year. Because companies won't get money unless they're constantly getting stuff out there, you know? Even like Halloween costumes that are cheaply made, those are just gonna, they might tear or break like during your night, or you just don't want to wear it again, or maybe it doesn't fit you anymore. We just need to be more like conscious of like ways we can repurpose some stuff that we already have and be a little bit more creative with it if you can. And if not, that's totally fine. Just think of what that item's life is going to be after you're done with its use. Like maybe you have friends or relatives that could keep it and they could wear it and then they could pass it down, you know. And you know, you can repair things. Also, like if you have an old costume that's like ripped up, that's a vibe. It's Halloween. Just throw some fake blood on yourself, you're good to go. Yeah, that's pretty much all I really have to say on this topic of hyperconsumerism, overconsumption, blah 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 blah, on Halloween itself. I'll probably have more holiday-based consumerism commentary closer to like the like December holidays, because that's when it like really picks up and stuff gets super commercialized. But I just wanted to throw this quick little video out here before Halloween, and I just wanted something quick and simple that I could do because I'm still recovering. So yeah, hopefully this video made sense. I'm gonna have so much fun trying to edit this and figure out where my brain is going. But you know what? That's literally me on a normal day anyways. This is just me trying to follow a script, not figuring out how to follow a script, so whatever. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe and thumbs up and leave me some video suggestions down below. I'm getting a lot of really good suggestions from you guys in my comments, and I appreciate it so much. Like, I also can't believe we hit 100 subscribers, which is so wild to think, because I've only had my channel for like a month, and that's 100, so that's like 20 subscribers a week, roughly, if my math is mathing. That is insane. I don't think I know 100 people. I know most people aren't excited about 100, but to me that's a big number. Even like $100 is a lot of dollars to me, you know? Like, this is wild stuff. So, anyways, I super appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for that. And I look forward to seeing more of your suggestions in the comments below, because you guys have been giving really good ideas, and I've been brainstorming some like commentary stuff based off of those suggestions. So I do have a little list, and I try to reply to every single comment as well, just because it's fun to have a conversation going, and I love hearing other people's thoughts. So I will see you in my next video when hopefully I do not sound like I'm dying. So yes, I will see you then, and if I don't see you after Halloween or before Halloween, have a very happy Halloween, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!